Peace, fanfare, and everything. Again, back at it again with another video. Thank you for those who are here, for those who are in the tribe. Thank you guys so much for joining. We are a group of like-minded individuals who are not bullshitting around. That's our motto. We're not bullshitting. We take this shit seriously, right? That being said, today is going to be a little shorter video. We're going to talk about the 9 key points of health assessment based on the natal chart. When you're looking at it from a health perspective, right? So these are 9 things to really keep in mind when starting to study astrology in a health perspective, right? The first thing is the 12 signs and their designated rulerships of the body parts. This one is a biggie. Learning the 12 signs: Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Gemini. I'm sorry, I skipped Cancer and then Gemini. I'm sorry. Gemini, then Cancer. I'm sorry. Someone just drove past me on the bike saying, yeah. Anyway, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, etc., etc., etc. Right? Learning those and learning what body parts they rule. Right? Aries is the head. Right? Taurus is the neck and shoulders, right? Gemini is the lungs, the wrists, the hands, the arms, things and twos, right? Scorpio is the hormonal system as well as the lymphatic system, right? Pisces is the feet, you know what I'm saying? Leo is the heart and back and the spine. Sagittarius is the hips, right? So learning those are very important. The next thing to do is the vitality and metabolism, which is Sun, Saturn, and Mars. The sun gives the body the vital life force, right? And it is very important to know what the vital life force of that sign can correspond to. For example, Leo rules the sun. So when the sun is in Leo, it is so. You guys have met a Leo before. Leos are so just in your face. They're so sun energy. They're so bright. They're so courageous. They're so, look at me, I'm here, right? Now, they might not be purposefully trying to be like, look at me, I'm here, but that's the energy that they give off. They're just so grandiose, right? And think of that, but in the different signs. Right? So Saturn and Mars also control your metabolism. If the Sun and Mars are on the masculine sign, it can be better for your metabolism, right? If they're aspecting your Sun in a positive way, it can affect your metabolism in a positive way, right? And so you want to look at that. The next thing that you want to do is look at the distribution of the vital life force, which is the moon. The moon is what distributes the vital life force. So here's a good example. I have a degree in electrical engineering, and for those who are electrically inclined, this might make more sense. You have voltages, amperes, and resistance, right? The voltages is like the power, right, which is the sun, right? The voltages is the sun. The amperage, which is the current, is the moon. It distributes it. It's the current, right? The resistance would be your rising sign, right? But we're not going into resistance. We're just talking about the distribution, right? You want to also, the next point is to look at is temperature, right? Saturn and Mars give you temperature. Saturn is cold and dry. Mars is hot and dry. The temperature is important because say you have a Mars in Gemini, your lungs or certain body parts will be, body parts ruled by Gemini will have a tendency of going hot. And so you want to give cooling herbs and remedies to those hot places in order to, for those body parts to come into a state of equilibrium in terms of temperature, right? So boom. The next one is excess and deficiency. the south node is deficiency, the north node is excess, right? And so we all know that if you don't eat enough, you can die. But if you eat too much, you can also die. It's very similar to like the amount of nutrients you have in your body, or the amount of bacteria you have in a certain region of the body, right? That can be affected through the north node, right? So, for example, Uranus represents nervous system, right? Nervous energy. If your north node is conjunct, which I think mine is, or close, if your north node is conjunct, a ladybug. Oh, I haven't seen a ladybug in forever. Oh. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. If your north node is conjunct Uranus, you can have an excess nervous energy about you. And then if you have Mars in Aquarius and then Saturn in Gemini or something, you could even have even more nervous energy, but we're not going there right now. The next one is the assessment of bodily systems, the planets in the signs and houses. Planets, I've kind of been going over this throughout this whole entire video, but let me go a little more specific. So like planets in the signs affect those signs differently. A Mars in Aries is going to affect that placement differently than a Mars in Taurus. A Saturn in Pisces is going to be different than a Saturn in Gemini. So you want to learn those differences, right? The four elements, i.e. the four qualities of the vital life force in excess or deficiency. For example, I have a shit ton of earth in my chart, but I only have one water placement in my in my whole chart. So I can be more deficient in water energy, which could be an issue because my Mars is in Gemini, right? And my Mars in Gemini would mean that my lungs are more hot than normal, right? And because of that, and because of that and other placements in my chart, breathing issues can be an issue for me, right? I've learned how to, work around that because I've studied it and I know about nutrition and other things, so I've learned how to work around that. But that is something to look out for. The three modes, the rate of flow of the vital life force. The rate of flow is important. Like, it's just like a current, right? Or think of it this way, a water pipe, water in a pipe, or here's the easy one for everybody to get, in your shower, right? When the water comes out, if it comes out really fast, it can hit your body, but it can actually like cause pain to your body. If it comes out too slow, then you're not getting any water in the first place. You're not getting any life force in the first place, right? So think of it that way, right? The next thing is the current time influences, which is the transiting planets like right now. The transiting planets have a lot to do with the health. I did a reading once with this lady and her Uranus was like square. I'm trying to remember exactly the aspect, but it was square. I'm sorry. The transiting Uranus was square something in Taurus. I think it was Saturn or Mars in Taurus. And she had recently, around the time when this aspect happened, got diagnosed with hypothyroidism. But that makes sense because Uranus is sudden change, right? And Taurus rules the neck and the shoulders, and your thyroid gland is right here, so it makes sense, right? Now, granted, just because that aspect happened doesn't mean that hypothyroidism is 100% to occur. It just means that something can potentially occur if the necessary nutrients and minerals are not available, right? And so those are the 9 key points that you really want to grasp when doing this astrology in a health perspective. With that being said, I thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna end this video right now. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please ask below so that we can give you a proper answer. Like, don't think that, you know, you have to like just try to figure some shit out without asking a question. Like ask a question, right? That being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And remember, we are not bullshitting in the Royal Tribe.